Hi, I'm John from Just Whiskey. I hope you can see me through all of these bottles here. Today we're going to be talking about and reviewing the Talisker Dark Storm, which is also a travel retail exclusive. And I'm going to be comparing that to the recent Surge, which I've already reviewed, and we're going to compare it to the Talisker 10, the core range Talisker 10. Yeah, a lot of people have been asking a lot of questions, and so I think the comparison is justified. And at some point, to continue the Talisker journey, I have this nice sample pack here with the 57 North in it, which is, I believe, damn close to cast strength, 57% ABV. And they also had the Distiller's Edition in here, which has a little bit of sherry finish in it. So at some point we'll be comparing those to some of these as well, and the like. So today's Just Whiskey, right? And we're getting really close to 1,000 subscribers. So please hit that thumbs up, that like button. It's very important. And subscribe. And every now and then I give some shout outs to some interesting names that people have for Whiskey Tube handles, their monikers, you know. So some of the new subscribers, one goes by the name of Dark Side. Another one goes by the name of Felix the Cat, which I used to love that cartoon back in the day. There's another one that's called AAB, which I thought was pretty unique. And then a more recent one called Life Good. Life Good, I like that. But a special shout out has to go to my newest Patreon supporter. And he goes by the name of, and I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, Savar Bjork Weisen. Okay, so Savar, thank you very much for your Patreon support. It's very much appreciated. All right, and then before we get into the review, yesterday I just found these chocolates, right? These are liquor-filled chocolates from the Diageo range. So people that say, I don't like Diageo, well, let me tell you, Diageo is delicious. These are dark chocolate covered chocolates. We've seen them all before. Usually they have more, Remy Cointreau and a lot of different things. Anyway, this has the Singleton 12, the Dalwhinnie 15, the Oban 14, the Talisker 10, and the Lagavulin 16. And each of these is actually filled with a little bit of the spirit. So if you stay tuned to the end of this review, comes in a beautiful display case too. You get 10 of them, and it retails for about $18. Okay, and it's got a cool little map of Scotland with the chocolates on there. And so at the end of the review, if I remember, we're going to be I'll give you my quick little take on the Talisker 10 chocolate, which I think is very fitting, So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. It actually, the total contents says actually 7% alcohol, although each one of these contains, I think, 2.4 to 3% max, which is still like pretty decent, I think, So we will, I'm gonna put that right here. Okay. All right. So, Talisker Dark Storm. It's travel retail, and the Talisker Dark Storm comes in at 1 liter bottles and retails for about $80 US. Okay, I believe it's like 68 pounds, so about $80. And the Talisker Surge comes in a 700 milliliter. That retails for about $100 US, and the Talisker 10, I can get it in my area for $50. As high as 60, but between 50 and 60, usually closer to $50. So you're getting an age statement. Quickly, the colors, they're probably all chill filtered. and they're probably all colored. The Talisker Dark Storm is darker than the Surge, and it's darker than the Talisker 10. Color-wise, the Talisker 10 and the Surge, the colors are very close. I would say the Talisker 10 is, well, you can be the judge. They're very close. Maybe a little bit lighter, just a shade, a hint lighter, possibly. Okay. All right. So the main focus here is on the Talisker Dark Storm, because I have reviewed these other ones previously. We're going to compare them though. Okay. The Talisker Dark Storm, they all come in at 45.8% ABV. Okay. The Talisker Dark Storm, the legs are a bit thinner than the Surge. The Surge has thicker legs, so the viscosity is a little bit less on the Dark Storm. Okay, Dark Storm on the nose. Fruity. That vegetal peatiness is pronounced there. Smoky. Also, it has the medicinal. Also, a noticeable cigar ash, even a cigar juice, and a bit of cigar ash. A little thin on the mouthfeel, but it's decent. That cigar ash is prominent. That peat, that vegetal note, slight sweetness. But it is lacking a little bit of viscosity. The finish I would describe as medium to medium short, with a slight chalky lingering aftertaste, with a light black pepper note. Talisker is known for their black pepper notes. I would say it's not as pronounced as the Talisker 10, but it's way more pronounced than the Surge. Okay. All right. Now to the Surge. Okay. These are all, I mean, the Storm, the Dark Storm, and the Talisker Surge, they're both non-age stated as well. Although my understanding is that the Surge probably has some older spirit in it. Okay. So the Surge, it's lighter in the color, thicker legs, more viscosity, more oily, but the nose, I'm getting a little more, the fruits are more prominent, like berry fruits. Okay, and a little bit of the rye note. Okay, there's a little bit of a rye note on the Talisker Surge. A little bit of the legs in this are thicker. The mouthfeel feels about the same as the Dark Storm, but I think it hangs around a little bit longer. The mouth coating hangs around a little bit longer, even though it's thinner, probably due to chill filtration. So on the palate, you're getting that more pronounced peppery note, the slight peat, slight farmhouse funk, that little bit of grassy hay note there as well. The finish on the Surge is medium, with a lingering, tingling black pepper note to it. Okay. Now, last but not least, the Talisker 10. Okay. The Talisker 10, I've always found, from my experience, to be a chameleon. Almost every pour, every time I visit it, okay, it's always familiar, but it's a bit of a chameleon in that sometimes it hits my palate differently. Okay. On the nose, on the 10, You're getting that slight peat, slight medicinal. With the 10, you get more of a wallop of that fruity vegetal peat note. Okay, that really comes as an explosion of that, with a bit of mint, cinnamon, a little briny, a little salt, has a little bit of salt to it, and that classic Talisker black pepper is more pronounced in the 10. Okay. All right. So for the Talisker Dark Storm travel retail, you're paying $80, but you're getting 1 liter. I would score the Talisker Dark Storm between an 86 and an 87. Okay. Probably leaning closer to the 87. All right. The Talisker Surge, I would score that about the same, between an 86 and an 87. But for the price, I would probably score it more like an 86 and a half. Okay. So I think the Talisker Dark Storm is closer to the Talisker 10. I think the Surge would has a wider appeal to just about anybody that's wants to explore a very slightly peated, accessible single malt. It is different. So I mean, I would say the Surge is more like daytime, and then the Dark Storm and the 10 are like nighttime. But what I'm gonna do, and so the Talisker 10, I reviewed that a long time ago, comparing it to the Lacheg 10, and I've become more conservative on my scoring since then. Okay, but I scored this well over a year ago, and I gave the Talisker 10 between a 91 and a 92. But I'm going to adjust that down to a more realistic score from my point of view, and I'm going to give the Talisker 10 between an 88 and an 89. I constantly replace the Talisker 10 bottles. It's something that I always will. I really, really enjoy it. Yeah. So on the bottles, okay, and just like a couple of words, and I think it kind of sums it up. I'm not reading all the overly romantic writings in the back of these things, but on the Talisker Dark Storm, they sum it up by saying, untamed intensity, roaring spice. Okay. The Talisker Surge, they say on the label, flashes of surging spice, rich honeyed berries. Okay. So that is a little, it's a smoother. It is smoother. It's fruitier. It's a little more accessible, a little more well-rounded. Okay. And then the Talisker 10, ruggedly maritime, sweet smoke, peat, and pepper. So I actually think that sums it up pretty well with those labels there. So the 10 is my favorite out of this. Then I would say the Dark Storm, and then the Surge. But it's a bit unfair because the Surge is a different experience. In a blind, I'm not so sure I could even tell it's a Talisker, although it has the family traits of that. But blinds can be challenging. So I'm just being honest that I think if you're looking for a different experience, the Surge might be, a worthwhile thing. Okay, so the Talisker 10 chocolate, we're going to save that, and we're going to, it's probably going to get a little gross because I'm going to be chewing it on camera here. So you might hear some munching sounds or whatever. But while I'm opening this, please like and subscribe. We're very close to 1,000 subscribers. I'd really like this, before the end of the year, like to get to that 1,000. subscriber mark because I have a very special bottle that I've been saving just for that occasion. All right, so here we go. I'm just going to put the whole thing in my mouth, okay, because I don't want any of it to spill out. Mmm. Mmm. Dark chocolate, coconut. And there's not a lot of alcohol in here, but can I tell that it's Talisker? I'm not so sure. Delicious. If you see him, buy him. In my next review, I'll be doing the same with one other one. I don't know which one yet, but my next review, I'll be doing nothing for that. $18. I'd recommend it. This is really good. So thumbs up, like, subscribe. Remember, folks, it's just whiskey. Hats off to you all, and happy holidays. And watch Whiskey Lock's Advent Calendar show. He does one every day, and in my opinion, he's the best at it. So watch Whiskey Lock Advent Calendar. Merry Christmas. Bye-bye.